Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes, today is the day. That is correct. Today is the day that James Harden takes the floor for your Philadelphia 76ers. Is it 8 o'clock yet? Is it fucking 8 o'clock? 8 o'clock yet, please. I need it. I also need my cup of coffee, which is brewing right next to me, and I need caffeine through my veins. So what's up, everyone? How are you guys? Just remember, I might as well say this right from the jump, and this won't be the only time you hear it today. But tonight at 8 o'clock, we will be watching the game together right here on Brodes Media, and there will be giveaways happening throughout the game. So each quarter we'll have giveaways. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. Watching the game with you, the Sixers with James Harden and his debut, throwing that jersey on. It's going to be a lot of fun, so I can't wait. Today's basically a Brodes live stream day, if you will. You got coffee with Brodes in the morning. You got the actual game. And then after the game, we'll hit the reset button and then have a post-game show. So it's going to be really just a hell of a day staring into this camera and speaking into the microphone. But I'm here for it. I'm here for it. That's for damn sure. Let me grab this cup of Joe real quick. Oh, baby. All right, so what's happening, everyone? How are you? How are you doing? We have James Harden on our team. That is correct. We do have James Harden on the Philadelphia 76ers. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. I love it. Zero sleeps. Zero sleeps. Let's go. It's the day. You know what's amazing? Still can't believe Harden's a Sixer. I mean, the anticipation for this guy to play a damn basketball game. I know we've been kind of hearing it throughout the week of what other people were this intriguing to watch, and for their first game, that is T.O., right? I mean, it is unbelievable to think about the atmosphere right now in this city and all the buzz thinking about what number one is going to look like in a half-court set. And here's the first pick and pop from Harden to Embiid. Maybe it's a behind-the-back, right-on-the-money pass where then Joel Embiid jab steps once and in rhythm takes a mid-range J, and his touch is so soft that it just hits the net perfectly. Oh, come on now. You know what I'm talking about. Joel Embiid, when he has that soft mid-range touch, and it's just nothing but the back, and then just swoosh, nothing, doesn't hit the back of the rim. It is so perfectly executed that you don't even know what to do. It's great. It's great. I'm just picturing one of those for the first possessions out of the 76ers. Why are you nervous about tonight? So Abs is apparently nervous for tonight's game. What would make you nervous? First off, it's a regular season game. So if anything was to happen, like them not win, it's a regular season. There's nothing to be nervous about. This isn't the playoffs. This isn't going up against, I don't know, the Miami Heat in a playoff series, and you're seeing them in the second round or something like that. What is there to be that anxious and nervous about? I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited. Did I see Embiid and Harden in the lab? Did I ever? I had to retweet that bad boy and say, this is incredible. Here's Joel Embiid just working on his step back and nothing but net. I mean, it's amazing that he's going to like almost perfect it already. I swear to God. That's Joel Embiid this year, where he applies something to his game. It's in his game. It's there. Bada bing, bada boom. Here we go. Here we have it. Right. And obviously, I'm being a little bit sarcastic here, but it is wild to think about how strong he probably already is at it when James Harden just got here and has just really implemented his way of the step back, if you will, into Joel Embiid's brain firsthand. I'm sure there's been videos and 5,000 hours of Joel Embiid studying the craft, but that's a lot different than being with him. And by the way, you see this, what we're doing here? I like to call this the Abraham Lincoln, this beard, but it really is the James Harden. I'm just doing it out of respect. That's all. Okay, so Abs chimes back in and says, I'm not nervous. I'm just anxious to see how Harden and Embiid play together. Yeah, of course. I mean, it's day one. It's game one. There's going to be hiccups. There's going to be some uncomfortable possessions, but it's about what you see that you know works in the long term, right? If you see half-court possessions and good sets being ran, and you realize this wouldn't have happened without James Harden, those are the type of details that you emphasize when you're watching a game like tonight, no matter what the outcome is. It's all about, all right, what can this duo do? And what does James Harden's ability do? And what type of offensive looks can they get consistently based off of this personnel? And how deep can that bring you during postseason run compared to, let's say, a Ben Simmons in the half court that just hands it off to somebody, then goes stands in the dunker spot and does absolutely nothing? Because those are two totally different scenarios. How do I feel about Willie Cauley-Stein? It's a 10-day contract. I'm not freaking out about it. It seems pretty obvious that they're looking for a backup big man, and that's the route they're trying to go right now in terms of a buyout market and all. And, this is what they're going for. They're giving it an attempt. Look, I trust Daryl Morey, okay? Daryl Morey is not dumb. He's not stupid. That doesn't mean every decision he makes is a perfect decision, but with Willie Cauley-Stein, we knew what they were targeting. It's a buyout market. Are there more veteran experience type of guys that I would maybe like to look to buy out? Yeah, other than signing someone who hasn't been really active and a 10-day contract kind of guy. Absolutely no doubt about it. But we're also talking about buyout players too. What I'm trying to express here is we're not talking about going to free agency and picking up the next free agent and they end up with Willie Cauley-Stein. We're talking about buyout market level of players in a generalized conversation. Obviously, you get picked up for a 10-day with Willie Cauley-Stein is different than a team buying somebody out. But you get my point that the level of talent we're speaking about is limited. So I saw outrage on, I can't believe they picked Willie Cauley-Stein. This guy can't play, this and that. A lot of these guys can't play. It's why they're being bought out. A lot of these guys get bought out now. Yeah, Goran Dragic is a name that everybody would want and this and that. It's like, well, I wouldn't be against a ball handler, but they feel with Harden and Maxey, they have ways to stagger their lineups, so you always have a ball-dominant player out there on the floor. What they don't have is a backup big. I would look more into that 2 or 3 category, a player who could play the 2 or 3 that could help out with some spacing, but also provide a little bit better D than a Furkan Korkmaz, a Danny Green, but, that's going to be – it's not like there's a billion options out there either, to be fair. We got $5 coming in from Omar. Hey, Omar, thank you so much for the donation. I might be late to the party, but just curious. Did I see Stephen A. Smith's top 5 contenders and now the Sixers aren't on it? He's doing that because he wants that type of reaction right there. That's what he's doing. He wants the reaction that you just had to the point where, look what you did, right? You brought it up. You brought it up intensely. You brought it up with a lot of fire. You brought it up with a lot of passion behind it. Couple exclamation points. A couple question marks. He has you right where he wants you. He knows what the reaction would be if you didn't put the Sixers on there. Now, no, I did not see the list, and I am curious on if you know what the list is. I just Googled it. Oh, the top 5 contenders. Golden State, Phoenix, Brooklyn, Milwaukee, and the Miami Heat. Yeah, well, I mean, look, whoever he left out, someone was going to have a rant and someone was going to hate it on the other side, and so happened to be the Sixers. Well, what do you know? Don't you think the reaction in Philadelphia would be a little bit hotter than the reaction in Miami? No pun intended. There's probably a calculated thought and a calculated reason why he elected to keep the Sixers off instead of the Miami Heat. But thank you, Omar, for the $5 donation. I appreciate that. But he knew what he was doing. Well, no, he doesn't really hate the Sixers. I mean, he has a lot of ties here due to his career in Philadelphia. And he actually loves the Philadelphia scene, the Philadelphia sports fandom. Like, he does have Philadelphia in him. So I'm not going to say that he absolutely hates the Sixers. It's calculated talk. They do this to spark people. That's what they do. Yeah, and I will say this, even though I don't agree with him, it's not as if, okay, he has the Boston Celtics in there or somebody else over the So, I mean, he's got the number one seed in the Eastern Conference up at the top. Now, that doesn't mean I necessarily believe in them for the long run, and I believe in them to go make some damage legitimately and get back to the NBA Finals like they did when they were in the bubble, the season of the COVID-19 season. But still, I mean, they did at least put like a number one team in the East. Okay, you can make the argument that you feel comfortable picking them. It's not as if there was an egregious team. The one team that I still can't get over, and I'm not downplaying what they can be if everybody's healthy or what they can be if this and that, but the Brooklyn Nets are literally basically a 500 basketball team at this point. There's not that many games left, all right? Now, we know what Kevin Durant brings to the table. We're not stupid. We've watched basketball for a long time and watched plenty of playoff series and watched him last year almost rise to the occasion and wax an opponent by himself, literally 1-5 consistently. So I'm not downplaying what a Kevin Durant could do, but they are the 8th seed right now. They're 31-29. They're 2-8 in their last 10. And I'm not going to tell you that that means that they can't do any sort of damage. When you have superstars, Kevin Durant, I'll keep it 100. I say the same thing with the Sixers. Why do I feel comfortable? When you have superstars, Embiid and Harden, you're always in a fighter's chance. You're always in the corner thinking, I can do this. Well, Kevin Durant alone, you feel that way. Sure, Kyrie Irving is a nice player as well that gets added to this whole mix now due to the change that's happening in New York and giving him the ability to be able to play basketball on his own courts. So they're always in the mix. But, I mean, I do feel that it's aggressively strong, that it's like a no-brainer. Now we're putting them in the 3 and the 2. It's like, I mean, I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I could feel that comfortable and that strong about that for me personally. That's all. I feel like there's a track record. Whenever there's a definite team that gets written, but they're stacked, but they're stacked, but they're stacked, right? The Boston Celtics in years past didn't really pan out. The Sixers with Richardson and Al Horford, the talk about them forever and ever. They're stacked. They'll get there. Don't worry about it. I know it doesn't look good now, but I know they haven't really played strong now, but they haven't really put the pieces to the puzzle together, but there's 20 more games to do it. Every time that's what it is, but, or they can, but it never really ends up panning out. So I'm just using track record and the history. So it doesn't mean that it's impossible. It just means that I'm not putting my money down on it and saying that, here you go, take my cash, Vegas, on that specific bet. What's up, Ethan? What's going on? What are we doing tonight on stream? We're just hanging out. We're hanging out, kicking it, relaxing, and watching this game together, Ethan. That's what we're going to do. We're going to have some fun and chill. Zach is excited for it, Brodes. I'm hyped for the game day stream tonight. Let's go. I'm excited, too. I really haven't done it in quite some time. I think the last live stream I did during an actual game might have been Phillies opening day. I think I did a Phillies opening day game maybe last year. And who knows? Maybe we can do the same thing again. You know, I used to do a lot more of the in-game live stream stuff, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it for sure. Let's see here. I'm looking at some baseball stuff. Trying to see if we're getting any update on what the hell is going on. How am I supposed to sleep knowing it's Harden Day, bro? Well, why do you have to sleep? It's 9:20 in the morning, Jonathan. If it's 9:20 in the morning, where are you going to sleep? Unless you're from another part of the country here. Am I missing something? Well, you don't have to go to sleep at this point. How do you win a prize tonight? I'll give you guys all the details about the prizes and the giveaways when we get going tonight during the live stream. So it's not going to be anything crazy. It won't be anything ridiculous. Just being there will be enough. But I'll give you more of the information as we continue to kind of, get into the action and roll into the game a little bit more. So just to get it a little bit of a brief idea, you just have to basically be there. Oh, wow. I work 6 p.m. to 4:30 a.m. That is a hell of a shift. How's the coffee? The coffee's amazing, man. There's nothing really wrong with any coffee that I ever drink. There was the other day I went to, I forget where I went, but it was out of the norm for me. Like, it was something I normally don't get. And it was just like, damn. I mean, I love any coffee. Yeah, what do you want? Give it to me black. then it's just the best ever, and it just runs through your veins. There's something about a black cup of coffee or 6, 7 cups of coffee, depending on the sitting, that it's just sensational to feel that urge and to feel that buzz that's just rolling through your veins and make you jitter. That's what it's all about. I'm probably, after coffee with Brodes, going to go out somewhere and snag myself maybe a Starbucks, or there's a little local shop that just opened up. It's about like an 8-minute ride. But are you going to ask me if I'm going to take an 8-minute ride for a new cup of coffee that I haven't had before? Yeah, I definitely would. I absolutely would. Do I think the Hawks can beat Nets in a play-in game? Well, in a one-game situation, anything can happen. In a one-game situation, anything can happen. The Nets or the Hawks are not good. So, they're not a good team. I'd say advantage Brooklyn Nets, obviously, especially with the Kevin Durant healthy. But anything can happen. You've seen this all the time throughout the league. On any given night, one team can win a damn basketball game. So the whole one-game part of it is scary. Is it possible? Sure, it's possible. The Atlanta Hawks, who were nowhere even close to as good as the 76ers last year, talent-wise, ended up beating the Sixers in a 7-game series and won a ton of those games on the road, and it made us very sick. Now, obviously, it took a historical play by Ben Simmons for that to happen, and a disgusting, brutal effort, and such a terrible, terrible, terrible deflating moment to occur. But even without that specific play, the Sixers probably would have lost anyway because of how putrid Ben Simmons was. My point is, the Atlanta Hawks were nowhere even close to the same level of talent as the Sixers last year, and I stand by that, and that's not some hot take. That's not outrageous. It is very clear and obvious that that was the case, and the Atlanta Hawks were not very good, and they still ended up beating you. So they did that in a 7-game series. They did that in a 7-game series. We get $5 donation coming in from ASMR Me of everything. Good morning, Brodes. I'm counting the seconds for tonight. Let's go. Great shirt, by the way. Oh, thank you. You know what's funny? I'm very happy that you said that. So I recently stopped at the mall the other day because I was looking for something. And then I walked into Tilly's. And I'm like, I haven't been into Tilly's in a long-ass time. And then to the left, they have a whole section of some stuff. I'm like, oh, let me just glance through it a little bit, okay? Now, I'm a Paul Rodriguez fan, and Primitive is his board company that he has. For people who don't know, he's a skateboarder. And I put this on today, and I bought a couple different shirts, right? And I thought to myself, is anyone going to realize what this is when I sit down on the stream this morning? Like, that's literally what I thought of when I hit my coffee button, and I'm like, I'm going to make a cup of joe, and I go, this is the first time I'm wearing this on stream. Is anyone going to know who this is or what this is? And then we got our first call out. I like that. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. His team is crazy, that's for sure. Who's starting, Matisse or Green? I don't know. We're going to find out. Can we call it? Not right now. Right now it's just a kick it stream. Right now it's just a kick it stream. I like to try and change it up so there's a little difference involved in some of the live streams. Coffee with Brodes is more we'll just kick back and hang out. I like utilizing the calling for more of the post-game reaction and getting your thoughts, when the game is over, and getting your hot instant reaction. So keep in mind that we are going to do a post-game show today as well. So morning stream right now. At 8 o'clock, we'll be going live for the actual game, hanging out with you for the debut of James Harden, presented by Sky Motor Cars, that is. And then we also have a post-game show after. So that's when you're going to be able to utilize calling in and hanging out. Let's see here. No, I've not bought a James Harden jersey, and I probably won't for me, but yeah, Danny Green's a clown. Danny Green's a clown. I think Danny Green realized that he was caught in a spot. because he was saying all this stuff about Ben publicly before and babied him and enabled him and said everything was okay. I love the way he plays. And now all of a sudden, Danny Green's on the other side and he's like, I'd be surprised, dapping him up, this and that. Guys on our team didn't like him, so it'll be an interesting dynamic, this and that. I mean, he just flipped 180 on his tone about Ben now that he's gone. And that's part of the problem, is just allowing Ben Simmons to never be held accountable. And you talk all that trash before to the fans about how much we don't know and Ben Simmons is amazing and this and that. And then as soon as he's out of town, there's a little bit more harshness in your voice. Well, it seems like you were being two-faced, Danny. And I think Danny realized that, well, there's definitely some public perception on that. And then he fired off a bit. But yeah, I think Danny Green's a clown deep down. $5 coming in from Jonathan Himes. I feel like people expect Harden to drop 30, but I'm thinking more 18, 12, and 10, and Embiid goes for 32 and 12 as long as we win. Fear the beard. Look, if he's giving you 18, 12, and 10, I mean, that's outstanding work by James Harden in his first game. I don't know what to expect in terms of stat lines. Like I said, it's going to be a different game where they haven't played together before, and there's going to be a lot of adrenaline as well, some excitement, some nerves, right? In like a good way, though, like nervous excitement and just a lot of energy surrounding this moment. So there's probably going to be some moments and whatnot. And, in terms of the final box score, it'll probably satisfy us. I don't know to what level. I don't know to what extreme, but you got two motivated guys playing in a very emotional game for the first time together. So there's going to be a lot of juices flowing for sure. But yeah, in terms of people just expecting 30 plus, hey, maybe we have the right to expect 30 plus. When we come back after the game and sit down and Harden is 32, we'll go, oh, yeah, remember Jonathan Himes in Coffee with Brodes this morning said people are expecting him to have 30, but I don't know if it'll be that way. Now, look, he's going to try and get his teammates going, I'm sure. I'm just having some fun, obviously. But, they probably want to try and get his teammates going, getting Tobias Harris going, let Maxey do his thing at times. So there's going to be an element of the feel-out process of how can I get my teammates active and keep them involved and have them engaged and have them feel like they're part of this, possession and things of that nature. So maybe there are some more stressed moments on passing instead of shooting and scoring, and we'll see. But I'm super damn excited, that's for sure. We got $5 more coming in from William with the super sticker. Thank you, William. Thank you so much for taking the time to join the show, to hang out and kick it with us and donate as well. Thank you so much for the $5 donations, everyone. I appreciate it. What do you think Tobias Harris will average in points now that James Harden is a Sixer? I don't know. What's he average now? Does he average like 18.9 or something? What's he at? Let's see. Tobias Harris right now averages 18.7. So I still think he gets like 18. I do. I still think he'll get the thing is, I'm talking about regular postseason. Tobias Harris in the postseason is going to be playing 38, 39, 40 minutes. So when you play that many minutes, you're bound to get points. Now, he averages in the regular season 35 minutes a night. He's still going to be playing a lot. And you're probably going to see him. See, here's what we heard. When it comes to staggering, 2 of the 4 are going to be out there. You're probably going to see, because it's not what we want to see. We want to see a Harden and an Embiid on the floor at the same time always. But knowing the track record of Doc Rivers, I wouldn't be surprised if there's Tobias and Maxey minutes, where it's Maxey and Tobias out there on the floor, while Embiid and James Harden are on the bench at the same time. I wouldn't be surprised, because that's not what I would do, and that would be the logical thing to do. But Doc Rivers never really tends to do the logical thing when it comes to his rotations. So there's going to be moments maybe where it's a Maxey and a Toby, and then you're waiting for Toby to get some buckets. And, I still think he's going to give you around that 18 points, 17 points. James Harden averages 10 assists per game. So that ball needs to be distributed to someone. And it's not going to just be Joel Embiid all the damn time. There will be other guys that get their scoring. So I don't think there's going to be this major drop-off as people believe that there will be, just because there's another guy who can score on the floor, because this guy who also scores can also get you 10 assists. And he averages 10 assists per game. He's up there with Chris Paul per game. So keep that in mind. What type of coffee this morning? Just original. Just original. It's actually McDonald's. blend. So a little just original McDonald's, just black. Nice cup of Joe. My thoughts on Konechny trade talks. I can't get into Flyers right now, unfortunately. Unfortunately, the Flyers don't move my needle enough for me at this very moment to discuss a a Travis Konechny trade when I'm thinking about James Harden walking into the Philadelphia 76ers locker room on the road for the first time in his career. I'm sorry, I just can't. I just can't. I love hazelnut. Hazelnut's probably my number two. I used to like French vanilla more. I used to go black, French vanilla, then hazelnut. It has now changed to black and then hazelnut and then French vanilla. So that's my changing of it. If you really think about this bench thing is crazy. What are we talking about? I mean, this is the NBA. Right? This is the NBA. How many teams, when they have the power that they do, have unbelievable great benches? Like, I mean, what type of players are going to satisfy you on the bench? I'm not saying you can't have a better bench. You absolutely can have a better bench. But I think that there's this narrative out there or this expectation to have these stellar players all coming off your bench. And they're bench players. Like George Niang is a bench player. That's what an NBA bench player is. So he fits the mold of a standard NBA bench player. I want more than Danny Green, Niang, and then whoever the backup big man is. No doubt about it. Do I think that you need better than that? Or Matisse Thybulle coming off the bench or a Shake Milton? You need better than that big picture and all. But then you ask the question, well, with Embiid being an MVP of the league and with adding James Harden, can you get away with a weaker bench because these guys are playing 40 minutes a night, 41 minutes? We're talking about 7 minutes of getting by with these bench players. It's not the regular season where you're asking them to play 25 minutes, 26, 27 minutes. You're asking them to get about 8 to 9 minutes of run. Can you get enough out of a Danny Green off the bench? Can you get enough out of a George Niang off the bench? The difference is right now, because Matisse Thybulle can't score, that the Danny Green-Matisse Thybulle combination might be split a little bit more 20, 24, 24 within a 48-minute game because, well, one guy provides something the other guy doesn't. But, yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that you're wrong to think about. What was I going to say? I lost my train of thought because I was looking at the chat. I'm not telling you you're wrong to think that the bench is on the weaker side. I just say to you, do you need as much as you think you do? Do you need as much on the bench as you think you do? Kevin Durant just went 1 versus 5 last year and almost got it done against the eventual champions. Just something to think about. Brock says George Niang is an above-average role player. Okay, yes and no. I mean, he has his moments. I think we're probably living off of the excitement of the last game that he performed for us because there's been some clunkers, there's been some ups, there's been some downs. But ultimately, yeah, I mean, George Niang is a typical NBA role player off the bench. And if you go 8 deep in the postseason, that's 6. So you have your starting 5, you have your 6th, and then it's Matisse Thybulle or Danny Green in the other spot off the bench. So make that 7, and then it's a backup big man. Make that 8. That's what it should be, although Doc Rivers likes to go 9 and sometimes even flirt with double digits, which is embarrassing. Bobby Stevens, $4.99, comes in with a $5 donation. No idea why I said $4.99. I like to round up to 5. As long as James Harden gives us more than 13.9 points and 7.5 assists in the playoffs, I'll be happy. Well, I feel some sarcasm here, obviously, but he's going to give you way more than that. I mean, if he gives you 1 point more than that, you won't be happy, right? With looking at what you said here, you're lying. You are lying because if he gave you 1 more point per game, you wouldn't be okay with that. Why those numbers? Oh, okay. That's what he averages in his career. I was looking at last year. Ben Simmons' career, he averages 13.9 points per game. Last year, it was 11.9 points per game in the postseason as a whole. That's what got me. But you're lying, because if James Harden only averaged 15 points in the playoff series and 8 assists, you would not be happy, and you know it. So don't be lying. You'd be pissed off and you'd be screaming, and you'd probably come here in the comments, Bobby, and go, I can't believe this guy. I cannot believe he only averaged. This guy's supposed to be a stud. I know it. That's all funny, though. But no, look, he's going to be way better than that. We all know that. And I can guarantee it. I'll put my mortgage down on it. I'll bet my mortgage that he provides more than that, as long as he's healthy, of course. There's no loopholes in here. And if he goes down and doesn't average it, well, then screw you, Brodes. Your mortgage is going to the people. No. Thanks, Bobby. I appreciate the $5 donation. $5 from Hines coming in. Jonathan Hines. People keep trashing our bench while also acting like the buyout market players are superstars. Doesn't make any sense. Phillies love negativity. I think it's fair to acknowledge that the bench is weak. It's fair to notice that the bench isn't the greatest in the world and it could be better. But don't lose sight of how much they're not going to play in the playoffs, or how much they shouldn't play. Two different scenarios, I guess. Because if Doc Rivers elects to play them more, well, then that's shame on him, and he's going to be problematic. But they shouldn't be playing. They should be playing 10 minutes or so. That's what we're talking. Now, it's different with the Niang, Thybulle, and Green, because those three guys are going to be, I'm telling you, it'll be one night Matisse starts, the next night Danny starts. Danny's bad, then Niang comes in, and Niang, and then they go to Matisse. And like that combination of those three are probably going to be this rotating cycle throughout the game, which then gives them more minutes than maybe, than looking at one of them as a pure starter that logs in 36 minutes and then trying to find minutes for those players when someone's logging in 36. I just don't anticipate that happening because of the limitations for Matisse and the limitations for Danny Green. But maybe with the combination of the three, they could find a way to secure that spot by a crew, by multiple people, by a whole entire selective group of guys can make up for one position as a whole. And by the way, there's a lot of teams that have fault. That's not, well, if you got to do that, the Sixers are bad. No, when you have NBA superstar talent, there's plenty of guys surrounding those talented players that have their own flaws, whether it's they get shredded defensively. A Seth Curry, for example, great offensively, can really shoot the basketball from three, and also added a little bit more to his repertoire off the bounce and off the dribble a bit, which can help out in selective situations. But then he gets torched by Kevin Huerter, right? Like, there's going to be plenty of examples of other teams that have their problems too, but are those problems covered up by their superstar talent? And we'll find out as games move on. $5 coming in from Abs. Matisse is like a young Tony Allen. Well, yeah, Tony Allen was all defense, no doubt. Matisse is a wrecking ball defensively, but I just can't stand the lack of awareness to where the offensive game needs to be. And it just bothers me. It bothers me like no other. And obviously, if you've been listening for quite some time here, I definitely rant about it. I scream about it. It bothers me, and I think it's really going to hold this team back. I do. Because if he actually could score, I still think they could win the championship. Let's be clear. So I want to clear up that statement because that sounds rather harsh. Hold them back to even, they could be even better. They could be even better. It could happen easier for a Harden. Now there's more put on the backs of Embiid and Harden. I think they could still do it because how powerful they are, but you're putting more pressure on the big man and Harden, and I think they have the ability to answer all of that pressure. I do, but it could get done with an easier process, and you wouldn't be holding back the team as much if you're Matisse Thybulle if there was some offense to your game. So let me be clear. I still believe they can do the ultimate goal and win the championship because you win due to your superstar talent. But it's harder for them to do it because of the limitations of a Matisse Thybulle. $20 coming in from Richmond. Thank you so much, Keith. Keith Richmond. Good morning, Brodes. Happy James Harden Day. The Brodes Tattoo Fund is back. Stoked for tonight. Feared Brodes' glorious beard. Yeah, say that to my fiance. Yesterday, she was all skeeved out. She's like, what is that? get rid of it. It looks obnoxious. I was twisting it down below. She's like, what? You're now twisting it? You're at the point where you're twisting your beard. Get this thing off. And yeah, this is the James Harden Brodes beard. I'm just doing it out of respect, okay? I'm doing it out of the pure respect of James Harden, number one on the Philadelphia 76ers, taking the court. I'll rock it for a little bit of time and then eventually end up trimming it off like like a normal Brodes cut, if you will. But I appreciate you respecting it. And I guess I have to tell the fiance when Coffee with Brodes is over that the people enjoyed it. So if the people enjoyed it, I got to give the people what they want. That's my motto in life. I'm here for you. I'm here for the people. So I had that, if that's the motto I live by, I can't just pretend it's not real. I can't just escape through it and pretend that it's not a big part of my life there. So we'll see how she reacts to it. But thank you so much for the $20. I mean, come on. I can't even put it into words. Thank you so much. The Brodes Tattoo Fund. We have been pretty much attacking this leg sleeve. I was going to put my feet up on the desk here and show you how far we've gotten with the leg sleeve. But really, there's like the tiniest little section to go on the top half of my calf. And then from there, we got the full half sleeve completed. So I'm pretty pumped up about it. And that couldn't have happened without the Brodes Tattoo Fund that Keith Richmond has been attacking for quite some time here throughout the donation. So thank you so much, Keith. Thank you, everyone who has donated so far. And thank you, everyone who's hanging out and kicking it right here in the chat with us and enjoying your cup of coffee with me. I don't know if it's a lack of motivation because it doesn't seem like he's not motivated, right? I mean, does he seem like one of those kids that isn't working on it? I just think that at some point that's where that's where his skill set is. I don't know. I don't think that's a lack of motivation. I don't think it's a lack of trying, but it's not working. And at some point you got to realize in professional sports, results matter. So while I'm not going to crush you if I know that you're putting in the work, but at some point it's like, okay, well, this isn't working. Right? It ends up hurting your basketball team in half-court sets where I gave you the numbers, and I saw this on, I believe that was Kyle Neubeck of Philly Voice, where the offensive rating that the Sixers have with Matisse Thybulle on the floor impacts them so harshly in the negative direction that it's basically comparable to being like the bottom 5 in the league offensively. That's how drastic of a change the offense is with Matisse Thybulle out there, that it gets to the point of like bottom 5 differential of on the floor, off the floor, one person dictating that. Bottom 5 in the league. That's insane. That's insane. You know what else is insane? Everyone out there? Windview. Okay. Windview is the nation's leading sports predictor, allowing you to compete in pregame or live contests against other people, not the house. You answer questions about each game before it begins or play in quarter-long contests while you're watching the game to take your viewing experience to the next level. You can play for free or for real money. You can play with your friends and family or your rivals. And I'll give you an example. And what happens when you open up the WinView app, and you can download the app utilizing the link down below in the description, winview.tv/Brodes. It will help me out tremendously if you were to do it utilizing that link. So I'm going to the app now, and let's say we go to Knicks Heat. So the way this works is you're playing against someone else. Both of you are answering the same questions, and whoever answers the questions correctly, more questions correctly, ends up winning the pot. Will Julius Randle score 21 or more points and record at least 11 rebounds against Miami? Will Kyle Lowry and PJ Tucker each record 10 or more assists in the game? Will both teams combine to record 8 or more blocks? Will either team make 13 or more three-pointers in the game? Will Miami record more steals than the New York Knicks? Will Jimmy Butler score the most points out of everyone? Will Tyler Hero outscore Fournier? Will Robinson record 5 or more offensive rebounds? Will both teams combine to score 211 or more points? Will Miami win the game by 5 or more? So these are the type of questions that you're asked when utilizing WinView. And then, you answer them, the opponent answers them, and then whoever answers the questions correctly, more of them, they end up bringing home the money. So it's a lot of fun. WinView.tv/Brodes. That is the link down below in the description. click it, download it, and then sign up utilizing that link. It will go a long way. And it's so much fun. There's a free version where it's not money-based, and you can get your feet wet to see what it's like. And then you start throwing in $10. You throw in $20. They're doubling your deposit bonus as well. So check it out, winview.tv/Brodes. Abs is coming in with another $5 donation. If Ben would have just shot the ball more and played power forward, well, he can't play power forward because he can't shoot. You can't put him at power forward. He can't shoot. It ruins the spacing. It doesn't work that way. If you are not a stretch four in the NBA in 2022, you really can't live. You just can't live. It's not something that's sustainable, or you're extremely, extremely, extremely limited to your skill set, and you're a very tiny role. I mean, that's just what it is. You cannot take the ball out of Ben Simmons' hands and say, go play the four, because his skill set, what does he do well? He's a facilitator and he's a good passer. Okay, well, if he says, hey, go stand in the corner, no team is going to defend that. He can't play the four. He just cannot play the four. It's terrible. We got $5 coming in from Al. Have I seen the attack? Of course, I've seen the attack. I don't live under a rock. Yes, I've seen the attack. It's devastating. I mean, I see these videos of these families and these fathers that have to stay behind and stand for their country, and their daughters are leaving them, and the wife is leaving them, and they're going to Poland, and they're walking the borders, and you know they don't know if they're ever going to see their families again. I mean, it's devastating. It's absolutely devastating and crushing to see, and I couldn't even imagine going through something like that, and it's heartbreaking. I'm not a big politic guy. I'm not someone who spends a lot of time on politics and this and that, but there's always stories that make the uncommon people watch it, like the people who normally don't watch it, stay involved and stay engaged, and obviously this is one that I have been tuning into a lot more than my normal self would, and it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. And that is my opinion on everything that's going on. It's gut-wrenching. Thank you so much for the $5. I appreciate it. Ben Simmons' body language last night was showing that he looks lost, and he's not even playing yet. I'm not spending too much time breaking down his chains and his shirts and his apparel and things like that. Right now, at least. Who knows? Never say never with me, because this dude is so damn fascinating. I can't get over it at all. But never say never for sure. With all due respect, Mike, I can't get into Aaron Nola trade discussions right now. We got James Harden playing at 8 o'clock tonight. 8 o'clock tonight. We'll be seeing James Harden take the floor as a Philadelphia 76er. The last thing on my mind is, where's Aaron Nola? Although, I'm not going to lie to you, I do love baseball talk, and you do know that it tickles my fancy. I am heartbroken that we are not getting to the point of a faster negotiation tactic between both parties here. But right now, at this very moment, I'm very, very hardened up. As that's not what I meant. I am excited for James Harden, and I cannot wait for him to dribble a basketball with that uniform on. James Harden is going to be your primary point guard, yes. You don't have to worry about it. James Harden is going to have the basketball in his hands, dictating the offense. He's going to be working this offense and setting everybody up. That's what he's going to be doing. I don't think you need to be worried about that. I think that's an absolute no-brainer of what's going to happen. Michael, I think you just waste too much time thinking about what Skip Bayless has to say. Skip Bayless is a useless individual in this business, okay? You don't have to ever care about what Skip Bayless says. Skip Bayless says things to piss you off on purpose. Now, I don't hate Stephen A. Stephen A, I actually respect. While I know he does try and get people riled up, I have more respect for him and his grind and his journey, and his credibility goes a lot farther than the Skip Baylesses of the world. I didn't even know people still listen to Skip Bayless. I didn't know people even watch Fox Sports 1 and turn on whatever the show name is with him and Shannon Sharp. I didn't even know people tune. Like, you're telling me that people wake up in the morning, they make their cup of coffee, and they go, I'm going to turn on Skip Bayless this morning. Like, people actually do that? Because I find it hard to believe. What you should do is make your cup of joe and then go, hey, you know what? I think Coffee with Brodes is on. Let me throw on my YouTube app on my smart TV or my Xbox or my phone. That's what people should be doing. Skip Bayless. No. No way. People actually value what that guy has to say? Ben can play the pick and roll, man. He actually was doing a good job as a screener in years past. Yeah, I don't think that that's false that he can roll to the basket well. But is that where we're excited? Now it's like, hey, you know what? I'm excited about Ben Simmons because he's a good roller. Think about what his skill set provides. Think about what he can be. I like his ability to set a screen and roll. I like it too. I do. I think it's fair to bring that up. He can. So let's weigh out the pros and cons here of the Ben Simmons experience. He can roll. But you got to be a stretch four in today's game of basketball. Got to be a stretch four if you're going to play power forward. Long term, you got to be able to hang out in the corner and stretch the floor. Why do you think Maxey, when they played the Milwaukee Bucks during that second half spurt of the last 5 minutes, him and Joel Embiid in that two-man game, why do you think it was so successful? Why do you think it excelled? Because it was two guys playing a two-man game, and then there were three spacers hanging out and basically just hanging out. And what does that do? It opens up the entire floor for people to operate. You'll see it with Matisse Thybulle. Matisse Thybulle's inability to play offense and how brutal he is. There's a reason why the offensive rating goes down to such a crazy number that is eye-popping and absurd. Because when you have that less spacing on the floor, it crushes you. Absolutely crushes you. Ben Simmons jersey or kissing Chuck Fletcher's feet. Well, hold on a second. There's so much context that's left out of this. Am I wearing the jersey? How long am I wearing the jersey for? Compared to how long am I kissing Chuck Fletcher's feet? I think it's an obvious answer. It's the Ben Simmons jersey. But how long am I wearing the Ben Simmons jersey for? A week, 2 weeks, a month, a day? And what am I kissing Chuck Fletcher's feet for 5 seconds? I need to know here the length of time for both. That's definitely playing a significant role in my answer here. So I need some information. Buy it to burn it now. I'm not into the whole burning jersey things. I think that's childish. I'd rather give it away and give it to donations and things like that over just burning jerseys. I never understood the burning jersey thing. I throw the jerseys that I don't want at one point into a bag alongside some other clothes, and then I drop it into a bin. That's what I do. When Simmons comes back to Phillies, those boos are going to be something special. Yeah, I just don't know when that's going to happen. I don't know when. I have no idea when it's going to happen. I don't anticipate it being in March. I don't. I'm looking at some releases here. Live in 10 minutes, some Nike Dunk Lows, Wolf Gray. Oh, they're kids' sizes. Damn. I'm thinking about buying a pair of Yeezys, though. Out of my shoe collection, I don't have any Yeezys yet. And I want to buy, it's honestly a pair that dropped 6 years ago, but they are fire. I'll throw up a picture on the chat here. They're the Yeezy 350s, the Oreos. I'm thinking about going for it. It's been a while since I bought myself a new pair, so I think it's time. For anyone who cares about the shoe life. Here you go. Here's a picture of them on feet. On feet matters. On feet matters. Okay. Let's see. What do you guys think about these Yeezys right here? Bang. Yeezy 350 V2 Oreos. I love it. I love it. So those are what I'm thinking. I have some other options too that are in my wants. Um, not all the new ones. I think the blue ones are so unbelievable that are coming out. The one with the blue is phenomenal. I like SB Dunks a lot, so I want to show you the lilac ones that I'm looking for. These are also in my queue. I guess I'll go on feet. I like SB Dunks. I don't have enough pairs of SB Dunks, and I want to continue the SB Dunks. But let's see if I can find a good picture on feet, because I don't like just showing the picture without it. And I guess these might be the only one. I don't like the... that's not a good picture of them, though. These aren't going to be on feet, because the one picture that is shown is kind of ugly. All right, what do you guys think about these bad boys? Bang. The SB Dunk Lilacs. I love these a lot. I think they're clean. I'm not a big gum guy. I don't like the bottom of the shoes being gum. It's not my preferred, but I can get away with it if the overall other parts of the shoe is clean enough for my liking. But I love these also. These are the two that are in like my wants, if you will, my wants folder. I love the SB Dunks. SB Dunks are better than the Nike Dunks that everyone's all in love with now. Yeah, I love those SBs. Nah, I don't like gums, man. I don't think the gums look good. I just don't. I don't. I'd rather it be more of a um more of just like I don't know, white soles, depending on the other parts of the shoe, the other colorway of the shoe. But I don't like gums. Maybe that's what we'll do throughout the game and while we're watching the Sixers. I know people have asked me to see some of my shoes before and asked me about my collection. I started to put my collection out in my man cave a bit so I can always see them, which is nice. I have about 10 pairs, so maybe throughout the show today we'll we'll kick it and talk some shoes while we talk basketball as well throughout the commercial breaks and all that stuff. So yeah, maybe I'll bring my shoes in here and we can do a little shoe thing. It's not anything crazy. All right? I'm not like I'm not a hype beast. I don't have the Travis Scotts. Okay, I don't have the Travis Scott dunks or the Travis Scott fragments, and like I'm not your typical hype beast that just have a bunch of these shoes that are $1,000. I'm just your normal Samaritan that could spend a reasonable amount on shoes like a normal person would, and then I hit on retail at times, and a couple of them have been reselling, but yeah, maybe we'll do something like that. $2 from Al. Brodes, in my opinion, Harden will give us 35, 5, and 10. Okay, sign me up. Sign me up for 35, 5, and 10 on opening night here for James Harden. Give me that any day of the week. That's what Al believes is going to happen. I hope you are correct, Al. I really do. I hope you are right. The MLB The Show stream. I've just been so out on video games. It's unbelievable. I've tried to get back into it. I've tried to play it more. I've tried, man. I've tried. I do like the Yeezy set. I like the Yeezy 500s, but I like them in oh, I like them in that white bone colorway, it's called. Um, I just don't know if I could pull them off. I think I could. I do. I think I could. I think I'm overthinking it, but something's holding me back. Something's holding me back from the Yeezy 500s. Here's a picture on feet. Yeah, we got a little sidetracked in the shoes. We did. Here's the Yeezy 500s white bone colorway. I like them. I like them a lot. Am I at the point, though, where I can pull them off as clean as I would like to? I'll tell you what, though. This Yeezy documentary is unbelievable. This Kanye West documentary on Netflix, there are 2 episodes in. They drop every Wednesday. If you haven't watched this yet, it's mandatory. Like, you listen to me right now. I am demanding you watch the Kanye West documentary on Netflix. This is to see his progress and his process of being in Chicago, moving to New York, his hunger and the determination to get to the biggest spot in the hip hop game. I mean, it is amazing to see his journey. And then, like, I tweeted this out the other day, yesterday actually, where there's clips of him playing the biggest hits he's ever produced and created as a whole, right? The biggest. You think about Through the Wire, right? And here he is playing Through the Wire for Pharrell for the first time ever. And Pharrell's sitting there. He's like, damn, right? He's admiring it. He's bopping his head. He's doing his thing. And then at the end, he goes, wait, Through the Wire. And he processed what Through the Wire meant, which is when Kanye West almost died in a car accident, broke his jaw in a billion different places, and his mouth was wired shut. And he's spitting, making this track Through the Wire. And then when he realizes that's what it meant, he's in awe, and seeing the instant reaction of a historical track being recognized in the moment for the first time ever. It's like, whoa, hold on. And seeing it all play out. It's one of the greatest documentaries. I mean, seriously. Now, I'm a Kanye West stan, so I understand how that could be a bit biased, but I am honestly obsessed with it, and I think it is incredible. I think it is incredible. All right, let me delete some of these overlays. I don't need a bunch of shoes in there. But I will say, if you guys have not heard already, that tonight at 8 p.m., we will be live right here on Brodes Media, hanging out with you, watching the game. James Harden debut watch party. We'll have giveaways throughout the quarters. We'll have some fun. We'll kick it. We'll hang out. Obviously, we'll show some shoes at this point, because it seems like people are interested in watching and being able to see some shoes as well. So, yeah, we'll have some fun tonight at 8 o'clock. So make sure you are there. It's going to be a blast. I'm really looking forward to it. And, yeah, I mean, that's where we're at. So make sure you are here, right here, Brodes Media, 8 p.m. Me, you, the camera, probably some coffee. Don't downplay some more coffee. Don't downplay some coffee. But yeah, with that, I think we'll kind of shut her down here with this episode of Coffee with Brodes. I need more coffee. I'm going to go make a run somewhere and get some coffee. I don't know where I'm going to go. I don't want Wawa. I don't want Dunkin'. I don't know if I want Starbucks. I want something different. I want to go to a coffee shop. So maybe I'll do that. Check out a new coffee shop that I saw opened up maybe 8 minutes away. I think I want to do that. So thank you guys for hanging out with me this morning. It was a fun, quick hour for sure. And tonight we got a lot of action. So remember, I know I've stressed this a lot and made it clear, but I want to just continue to put it into your brain here. Tonight, 8 o'clock, live. After the game's over, we'll shut it down for maybe like 15 minutes, and then we'll pop it right back up as if it's a post-game show, and we'll do the post-game show together as well. So it's going to be a lot of Brodes late tonight on your Friday night. So, real quickly, we did get a $2 donation coming in. Brodes, name your favorite athlete in the Philly teams. Name your favorite athlete in the Philly teams. Joel Embiid. Between Embiid and Harper. I love Harper a lot. Hard to not love Embiid a lot. I love both a lot. I'll say Embiid. But if you ask me this in June, I'll probably say, or July, or August, I'll probably say Harper. Thank you guys so much. You're the best. See you guys later. Thank you all. You're the best. You're the best. You're the best. See you guys later.